after that beautiful intro. I'm Dan. This is Jeremy.
Hello.
And today's episode...
So now, Black Adam is a DC character, right?
Black Adam is a DC character. He's a villain for... There's a movie called Shazam that came out a couple years ago. Actually, the sequel is coming out in 2 or 3 months, something like that.
Shazam is a child that can turn into a pedophile.
He turns into the guy from the St. Louis Rams movie we watched, American Underdog. He turns into Kurt Warner, essentially. So nearly 5,000 years after he was bestowed with the almighty powers of the Egyptian gods and imprisoned just as quickly, Black Adam is freed from his early tomb, ready to unleash his unique form of justice on the modern world. I typically don't like Dwayne Johnson movies. He bores me, but I thought he was great in this.
That is not what I thought you would say. I did not think you were going to say you liked it. I would say this is better than most of the superhero movies we've seen in the recent times.
Oh yeah, with the exception of Batman, because that one was really good.
I said most. So
yeah,
I think we could probably find like 3 movies that are better than this and 10 that are worse recently.
That sounds about right.
Just pulling numbers directly out of my brain. And this is the best Rock movie since
Fast and Furious 5.
I would not call that a good movie.
That was actually like the only Fast and Furious movie I really liked was 5. When he's actually a bad guy in that too. So maybe he should stop playing a football fairy dancing dad and start playing a badass.
He should stop playing in comedy.
Yeah, we've already seen 37 Kevin Hart and Dwayne Johnson movies. Well,
yeah, listen,
I've seen none of them, but
Dwayne, quit listening to Chris Rock. You're not funny.
Yeah. You were funny in 1999 when you were The Rock in WWF, but not anymore. I typically like heroes who kind of have their own version. It always pisses me off. I'm not going to go too far on this tangent, but when Batman has wrapped up the Joker in vinyl rope for the 37th time for him to break out of Arkham Asylum and kill 462 more people, it just kind of doesn't fit. This is why I liked him. He actually like fries a dude within the first few seconds of us seeing him. So
he kills a whole bunch of people. Yeah. Now I would say one thing I wasn't really a huge fan of was he wasn't a villain in this. He was more. It was basic. This movie was like if the Deadpool movie was about The Rock. Like it was not the humor, but the whole like, oh, I'm not a bad guy, but I'm also not gonna do what the good guys want. But they're gonna follow me around the whole time. Yeah. So the Teen Titans was supercalifragilistic girl from the Deadpool movie, and then the 2 old guys was the metal guy from the Deadpool movie, and then Rock was Deadpool from the Deadpool movie, and then I don't know who the bad guy was in this. The bad guy was like the concept of whatever was going on. The bad guy was the plot.
Let me ask you a question before I even move any further. Mm-hmm. Has there ever been a worse child actor in a movie than this kid in this movie? I hated every second that this kid was on the screen. He's supposed to be like Middle Eastern or Eastern Asian or whatever, wherever
I was getting
is.
Like South American vibes.
Yeah, and his accent, I would bet that this kid's from like New Jersey or something.
Yeah. Generally, I don't enjoy a child actor. I think we're better off having Flash Gordon be a 35-year-old man.
Yeah. His accent was terrible, and the skateboard. Buildings are crumbling around everyone. There's explosions everywhere. But every single time they have to make a perfect path. You'll see at one point, half of the buildings have been torn down, and there's a perfect path around the side of the road where the rubble stops so that he can skateboard with all the other goofballs. It was so cringy that the skateboard thing was just, it got me. I was just so sick of it by, I don't know, the 5th minute.
What got me was like, I enjoyed the action. The Rock was a better actor than he's been in anything else ever. And I'm not saying that's because he was a bad actor, but like they just they didn't bother to reshoot anything to get it right.
Yeah, there's always this thing where he's like, "Oh, you're 6'5", you're 280 pounds of muscle. You look like you could be a bouncer for a group of bouncers. Like when the bouncers can't get the job done, they call you.
Yeah.
Let's put you in a tutu and have you crack jokes."
I didn't see that one, but
he was a football player in one of the movies, and he had a daughter and had to like dance around like a ballerina. It was just really.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one where he's the Tooth Fairy. I remember the last time I enjoyed a The Rock movie. It was probably Scorpion King.
Oh, sure.
I'm sure that one would not hold up if we watched it again. I remember the guy that was like catching an arrow, but The Rock's arrow was too strong to be caught.
The other movie I can think of that's good with him is The Rundown with Sean William Scott.
Okay. The Rundown was awesome.
Yeah.
That one was really funny, and his character fit in there. That's the movie that caused all the other movies. I was like, oh, we can do The Rundown again, but this time it'll be awful, is what he said for the next 12 years. But in this movie, trying to not hold the other movies against Black Adam, how jacked is The Rock? So I came across an article, according to some guy on the internet, they had like a padded suit to make him look bigger, but when he put it on, he was too big because he had gotten bigger than they thought he would get. Which is, listen, eat your organic chicken, kids, and broccoli.
Yeah, and 27 pounds of tilapia
Sushi.
A day or whatever he eats.
Yeah, and then take just an absolutely tremendous amount of steroids, and then you can look like that. But like, so apparently they had to go in and like tear out all the fake muscles. That suit is him, apparently.
Sounds about right.
The suit was so badass, and like the way they had him move, I don't know, it was so much better than like how they usually handle flight in superhero movies, where it's like, oh, this guy is propelling himself in the air with his feet or whatever. But in there, it's just like he's just floating, then he just kind of fucking moves through the wall. I don't know if they shot it different or what, but it was like, I remember thinking like, this is so much better than when they started flying around in Shang-Chi.
He was floating around like I'm the most badass man to ever live. Like everything just seemed like he had this aura around him. It was so fucking cool.
Yeah, and the lightning, just like he would look at something and lightning would happen. He wasn't like, pointing and then like, waving his hand around. It's like he controlled it like a muscle. It's like, oh, that's where the light needs to go. Bazap. I thought that was absolutely badass. And then they had like other really good heroes show up and like make him look cooler. You know what I enjoyed in this movie? It was actually about Black Adam. I know I know this may sound like a revolutionary concept, but what they did here, and you're going to remember this from 5 years ago when they used to do this, but if you look at the name on the movie, it's about Black Adam. This movie is about Black Adam. It's not about Black Adam's cousin. Someone didn't find Black Adam's shoe, and then they became Adam.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen for Black Adam 2 is the mother.
No, you shut your whore mouth.
But she's the one that said Shazam.
Yeah, so
that would be Marvel logic right there.
Yeah, so basically, are we just roasting Thor right now, or are we roasting like the concept of the 4th season of Marvel? A little bit of both, right?
Both, yeah.
If this had come out right after Captain America: Civil War, we probably wouldn't have enjoyed the movie as much as we are right now.
That's true. We've had 5 years of just dog shit, so it's like, a superhero movie that's a bit different. The guy, it's like DC's version of Venom, essentially, because that is what I was thinking. Yeah, he gets the job done, but there was much more brutal death in this than Venom, which is insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, my thoughts on the brutality in Venom. Why wasn't that movie rated R? It should have been. I'm mad again. It wasn't rated R. If anything should be rated R, that should be rated. Okay,
this not being rated R didn't ruin it, but it certainly would have helped if it was rated R as well. Black Adam.
Yeah, but they still like hit their target. The R would have been a bullseye if he could have just like, if it was rated R, he would have just fucking flown through somebody. Like how he just like went through walls.
Yep.
Well, what if he just went through a Humvee that had 3 people in it?
I like it. I do like the fact that in the movie, Pierce Brosnan's character, Dr. Fate, actually asks him Did they have doors? Or he's like, oh, they didn't have doors where you're from. It's like, yeah, that's how we got into rooms. Well, why are you walking through the fucking walls?
Like, cause fuck you. That's why.
Yeah. What are you gonna do about it? He's one of those guys in this movie. I love it.
It's like, yeah, we had doors. They have become optional. I enjoyed the fact that they kept a lot of the politics at least a little bit vague in this. Like, it wasn't explicitly America being bad there, although that could have easily been some other place.
Yep.
But it was explicitly like another planet basically doing what we do on this planet, left and right. And then a hero showed up and was like not terribly happy about it. Yep. But then the big enemy turned out to be like the dictator from ages ago. Apparently, okay, so talking about the end villain, why didn't the other king come back to life when Black Adam killed him? The demon crown was there the whole time. Like, why didn't the demon show up previously? I thought that we were gonna have a flashback to when like maybe he killed the demon and forgot about it because like they zapped each other or whatever. But it just turns out that no, this mini fridge delivery guy just managed to talk the invading somewhat, shall we say, rapacious army that was stealing their oil and space rocks or whatever. They were being avatared. The army that was avataring them helped this guy for whatever reason, and then like he somehow managed to get a hold of the crown because he knew more than they did, and they trusted him. He did all that convincing off screen. How did he find out about this? It was passed down from family to family. You're telling me for like 3,000 years, like no one like messed up a word? Have you ever tried to play the game Telephone?
Quickly, I'll run down the plot. Like, just hit the Black Adam is a man from BC. I don't even remember what year. BC. Yeah, BC.
The DC BC.
Yeah, and he was a slave along with everyone else, and they were obviously treated like slaves. And his son tries to they find like a little jewel thing, whatever that thing was. And his son tries to like kind of be an inspiration, and he turns into the first like champion, which is what the Shazam thing is, which is really stupid that they say Shazam for him too.
Yeah, why does everyone speak English anyway? I don't know. They speak English in the past, but also the invading country speaks English.
Yes.
Shouldn't the invading country speak it differently?
Dwayne did not attempt an accent in this movie, which I appreciate.
Oh, thank God.
It doesn't make any sense that the guy didn't have an accent, but I'm glad that he didn't. He just sounded much better that way. His son becomes the first Shazam guy, the first champion, and he passes his powers on to Dwayne. So we know that the powers will be passed at some point, which is very unfortunate for the future writers who decide to take it the Thor route. Passes it to his dad, so he survives. The son dies, and then Black Adam essentially goes on a rampage and destroys the entire castle, which I can't really blame him. They were kind of treating him like shit, but
that was an awesome scene. It was that was when I was like, oh, I'm sold on The Rock here, because to set the scene, he goes into the king's court. He's just fucking floating there with lightning around him. The king says, "Please stop. I'll give you anything you want." He says, "This is what I want." I'm like, oh,
hell yeah.
Why'd they lock him up? He killed him. They didn't show him killing anyone that didn't need killing. I'm not sure why the mages locked him up.
So the court or whatever of mages who control who the next champion will be imprisoned him, ironically, in the same place that they found the crown. You'd think you'd want to keep those two separate, but I guess maybe if the champion is supposed to defend against the crown, who cares? So he's awakened by the main mother of the main girl, her son, and her cousin, the annoying guy who I knew they were going to go this route. So they're doing some spelunking because they want to find this crown. The heavier dude waits in the car. As soon as he goes, "Oh, I'm just going to wait in the car," I'm like, they are going to try and make this funny by playing some stupid ass song that he's going to be singing. Like, please don't. And they do. And it wasn't funny.
2 tickets to paradise.
Yeah. So
Look,
they
not
go
everyone
in.
can have our comedy genius, Dan.
They go in. They find the crown. They are ambushed by. So the third adult that was with them turns on them. They're ambushed by like the oppressors of that country, the
Yeah.
British guys or whatever the hell they were, and they take the crown. But she, as they're gonna kill her, she's reading the script on the floor and she says Shazam. Which, how do you get that in script? What did they spell it out? Is that what the lightning bolt means?
Listen, it's a lot easier to read things and know how to pronounce it when language has been completely unchanged for 3,000 years. The Rock shows up with the same accent as everyone except the kid in this movie.
Don't even know what that kid's accent was supposed to be. I was trying to look up and see where he's from, but it doesn't say. I never want to see him in anything again. Please. This had major Kazam. Did you ever see Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal back in the day?
No. Do we need to watch it for the podcast?
For worst movies ever, absolutely. It's one of the worst things to ever exist. But Kazam is a genie, and this little kid finds him, and it's just Kazam. I think he raps in that one too. It's really embarrassing. But the little kid's just following him around, and that's kind of what it reminded me of. Terrible.
Yeah, so let's see. I think I'm trying to figure out how old it is. I think he would have been like 13 when the movie was recorded. I mean, look, I can't hold being a bad actor against a 13-year-old.
The one thing that I do hold it against is the people who cast him.
Yeah, like the director should have been like, we need to like rewrite this a little bit.
Yeah.
Can the hot mom just have a sister instead?
Dwayne Johnson wakes up, kills everybody. We do get the Justice Society in this, which
Is that a real comic book thing?
yeah, DC is really bad at naming characters. I'm sure you're well aware.
No, Black Adam is a great name for a guy from Samoa.
Yeah. As soon as in that opening scene when Dwayne first wakes up, when he wakes up in present day, my note when he literally fries a dude with electricity is, "You have my attention." I didn't know exactly what we were getting into yet, but I was in at this point.
Let's see. I think we've gone through most of the stuff of the first half of the movie. It starts to get not as good. A little over halfway in, I think, if I have my time marks right, because he's like, you know what? I'm tired of murdering people who had it coming. I'm sad because my son has been dead for 3,000 years. And so I'm going to say Shazam and let you put me in a tank under the sea. Under the sea. Then as soon as they lock him up, like, oh, a demon shows up like, what's up?
The shittiest Lucifer look-alike demon ever.
Yeah, he looked like a PlayStation 2.
Yeah.
Okay, you ever played Tekken 2?
Oh, yeah.
Remember like the devil thing from there?
Yeah, Devil Kazuya. Yeah, it does look like that.
I'm like, oh man, if he only had 4 arms, we'd have some real issues here. But I guess we need an angel to show up and shoot a laser beam at him. The whole thing is supposed to be about Black Adam going through the world, being a hero in a way that like heroes aren't supposed to be, just like brutal, flying through walls. Like, no, fuck you, I'm doing what I want. And then it like turns into a fucking kaiju battle between a giant demon with his Satan throne and his realm of hell. And I'm like, that's too simple of an ending. It's also really stupid. Like there's literally nothing that happens between locking him up and then unlocking him. The only thing that whole character arc does is makes him go swimming for a bit before he can say Kazam. Now, why didn't he say Kazam before he went swimming? We'll never know. He could have taken that mask off. He could have taken that mask off before he got into the water.
We had 2 race swaps in this movie. Race swap, baby. Race swap, baby. Because we got to have that, right? It was Hawkman, obviously, and the chick there. So that was a double twofer. I guess we also have a race swap with Black Adam because he's a Canadian Samoan playing a Middle Eastern guy. But none of the twitards come out and go for him. But I guess Dwayne Johnson's invincible, isn't he? So my problem with the movie, other than the little kid, which I'll try and let go, except my rating is going to reflect it, is there was no tension at any point did you think that the kid was going to die, the mother was going to die, Hawkman or the Cyclone chick were going to die? Absolutely not. Not for one split second. At one point, Pierce Brosnan looks over at Hawkman. He's like, "I've foreseen all the futures," and he's doing his best Doctor Strange impression. It's like, "I've foreseen all the futures, and
everything's gonna be fine.
You are going to die." Yeah, and I leaned over to my wife. I'm like, I'll bet you any amount of money he does not die, because you're not allowed. You're not allowed to kill him. But there was no tension. There's just, it was cool. Dwayne Johnson was awesome, but it was kind of boring. Other than Dwayne Johnson, like, absolutely being a badass and like roasting people literally to death with electricity, I found it to be incredibly boring.
Yeah. Oh, they had some zombies for like 2 minutes. Why? I don't know. It's like the movie. It's like we're watching the movie like on the first cut, and they're like, "Let's not do the zombies anymore. These are boring." But they didn't like delete the footage. They're like, "Oh, just leave it in there."
Yeah. Make sure you have the skateboard kid come around the corner.
Oh, he gave the speech. Yeah, everyone stopped to listen to the kid give a speech. I forgot about that.
Jesus.
There's a bit of cringe in there. Like this whole town of people literally being attacked by zombies all stop to listen to a 12-year-old with a skateboard give an inspirational speech. Very, very Wonder Woman-esque.
Yeah. This is one of the better DC movies, actually. It's not great, but it's better than a lot of the DC movies.
What's the better one? I guess there's a couple of Batman movies. Those are DC.
Yeah.
Other than Batman, what's a good DC movie?
I mean, that Suicide Squad movie was okay, but it wasn't. I think this was better.
I think this was better than Suicide Squad.
This was probably the best one other than Batman, and I'd have to rewatch that Henry Cavill Superman back in the day. By the way, did you stay for the end credit scene?
No.
So Amanda Waller, she's the lady that runs I shouldn't call her a lady because she's kind of a psychopath. She's the individual who runs the Suicide Squad. She sends them all out to, suicide and all that.
Oh, Lady Samuel Jackson.
Yes.
Okay.
And she's talking to Black Adam. She's like, "We're going to be watching you. We're going to have a close eye on you. But
He's like, I don't give a fuck.
He does, essentially, yeah. She's like, "You have to stay in Kahndaq, though. That is your new prison. You can protect those people, but don't come out." And he's basically like, "What are you going to do about it, bitch?" He doesn't say that, but that's essentially his response. And she's like, "I did warn you." And then down comes someone. You can't see who it is. There's all dust everywhere. And out walks Henry Cavill is back as Superman. He's like, Black Adam, we need to talk. And the movie ends. I'm like, yes, because Henry Cavill's the shit. I'm excited.
I mean, I feel like Superman understands that sometimes you got to kill somebody. He broke that guy's neck.
And Black Adam in comic book lore is one of the few villains who can stand without kryptonite. Can stand toe-to-toe with Superman. Maybe we'll get a Godzilla versus King Kong style battle in the next movie. I'd be into that, actually. Just the 2-hour fucking fight. Or if they're going to do like some sort of Superman movie, maybe Black Adam will show up and they'll have a little fight in the middle of the movie. Some sort of, little prequel.
Yeah, I think Henry Cavill and The Rock would be good in the movie together.
Oh, yeah.
And then Kevin Hart can come out.
Kevin Hart should be Amanda Waller. I'd be into that.
Don't say I didn't warn you. I did warn him. You heard me warn. You heard me warn him, right? Yeah, he knows I warned him.
You bald motherfucker.
Yeah. So this one was better than expected. Not amazing. I'm going 7 out of 10.
Oh, wow. Okay. You're a little higher than me, but, it was much better than I expected as well, because I thought it was going to be dog shit, honestly.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be roasting this thing.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 5.5. I thought it was pretty solid for what it was. The little kid bothered me, and the lack of tension was the biggest reason that I didn't enjoy it, but I liked it way better than I thought I was going to. And the end credit scene was so fucking cool. I was actually like, should I read an American comic book again? It's been like 2 years since I've read any, so it made me actually want to go and read a Superman comic. It was so fucking cool. 94,000 plus ratings for a 7.1 out of 10. The world is right there with us. Let us know what you think about Black Adam down below. We appreciate the boost in viewers. People have been, digging our last couple. Go back and watch some of the old stuff too. You can't see me, but I'm pointing as though you can go back. But yeah, go back and watch some of the old stuff.
I am hilarious and insightful in everything we do. It's all gold. All gold. Yeah, leave us a comment and do a little thumbs up if you don't mind.
Yeah.
And if you want to hear more, hit the subscribe button. That helps you hear more. There's a bell, but I wouldn't say hit the bell. You don't want notifications. Why do the YouTubers say hit the bell? Who the fuck wants a notification? Is anyone here like, oh man, I hope I don't wait a couple minutes to watch this YouTube video?
I think some people are. And one thing I realized is
watch it now.
People are still typing first into comments, which I think is insane. I thought that went out in like 2014.
Listen, I'll take any comment I can get on these YouTube.
All right, so we will catch you guys later.
Next time.